The following is a presentation of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. Student-led, student-centered, student-serving.
Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. I'm Carly Evans. Alongside here with me is Ian McKendry. Ian, this is our first official tennis match that we've ever done on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. How are you feeling about it so far?
I'm feeling great. It is a very warm spring day here.
It definitely is. That is not an understatement.
No, it is hot out here.
We do not have a tent, so
Yeah. Yeah, it should be entertaining, like you said, first ever tennis match here on GVN.
So we are super excited.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Agreed. They'll be playing Severance today. Your Golden Eagles matched up against Severance, and I believe Severance is sitting at 3-1.
Their duo team with Mila Moore and Brooke Zink are sitting at 3-1 in their number one doubles.
Yep.
And our number one doubles, Cameron Martinez and Anastasia Rivera, are sitting at 0-2 on the season. So,
So this is definitely, hopefully, going to be a comeback game for your Golden Eagles with their doubles matchup, because it seems as though they are struggling a little bit here early on in the season, but obviously early on in the season, so
still
plenty of potential to come.
Still a lot of
Still
tennis to
time.
play, but
Agreed.
it's gonna be an interesting match. We kind of know what we're doing.
Sort of.
To an
Apologies
extent.
if there are some incorrect terminologies and other things. This is our first, and we will try our best.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to say the least. but
Agreed. As you put it, it's definitely warm out here. Not too many people at the match yet, but I'm sure a few more parents will show up.
Yeah, it's a lot of tennis matches going on at one time. We got Isaiah down there in the court, on the court. Gonna get us the statistics from the other games. As we'll be right back here on the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.
Do you want a reliable realtor who you can trust with your money and owning or renting a home? Then you can turn to Zadell Realty, and specifically Greg Zadell. Greg is a local realtor who helps people buy and sell both homes and investment properties. He has an extended knowledge of the market and is extremely involved in the community. Along with being a local realtor right here in Frederick, Greg Zadell is extremely experienced in his profession. Not only is he a broker, but also the owner of Zadell Realty, located in the Carbon Valley area since 1980, just over 42 years as of now. Make sure to watch for the Zadell Real Estate article in the Consumer Report. You don't want to miss it. You won't regret it when you rely on Zadell Realty.
Like most backseat drivers, I'm all about safety. Uh-oh! Les Schwab Tires is too. Because Les Schwab fixes brakes, steering, and more. See those guys? They just do tires. Eyes ahead, Dad! Look, I'm not telling people how to do their job. Blinker, I'm just glad Les Schwab puts my safety first. Watch, they're gonna come greet me.
Les Schwab Tires, celebrating 70 years of doing the right thing.
Hey, I'm Jake Marsing, social studies teacher and advisor of the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network, and you're watching GEBN. Go Golden Eagles!
Welcome back into the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. I'm Carly Evans. Alongside here with me is Ian McKendry. And looking at the matchup between Severance and your Frederick Golden Eagles, we have Cameron, who I believe is a senior, and Anastasia, who is a junior, so two upperclassmen.
And on the opposing end of that, Severance, sophomore and freshman.
So super young team we're talking about here. While Frederick might have a little bit of an advantage with experience year-wise, based off of just practice, they're pretty good in warm-ups, I would have to say. Severance, obviously their record proving
that. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. How can the like you said, the experience that our Golden Eagles have with their upperclassmen experience, but how can they match these younger
young talent,
exactly. It's gonna be very close.
Agreed.
hopefully Frederick, can pull it out. But
yeah, Frederick, as I said before, struggling a little bit early on in the season. Their openings haven't been amazing. I haven't been able to watch the matches yet, but from what I've seen from just strictly warm-ups, they've had a pretty good tempo back and forth. And I think both teams, as you put it, will put up a good fight between the two. And it will be interesting for sure, to say the least, to see these two sort of go head-to-head, as we'll just hit a quick live read. FHS Booster Club. Frederick High School Booster Club is always looking for parent volunteers to help carry on the long tradition of supporting the students of this community. The purpose of Booster Club is to provide the funding and manpower for the homecoming tailgate celebration, the after-prom party, grants to student groups and clubs, as well as scholarships to graduating seniors. If you're interested in becoming involved, we would invite you to reach out through our website, fhsbooster.com, and click on Contact Us or attend our next meeting in the FHS library. If you're wanting to be more involved in the community and you have a desire to do something that benefits the students of our community, we'd love to hear from you. The FHS Booster Club would like to give a special shout out to their partners who went above and beyond supporting Frederick High School last year. Les Schwab Tire, Linex of Boulder, Remax Momentum, Riptide Car and Pet Wash, Napa University Auto Parts, Stappiner State Toyota, My Guy HVAC, Pepper's Fireside Grill, and American Family Insurance. Again, please visit our website, fhsbooster.com, and click on Contact Us if you'd like to get involved. We welcome any supports, not just parents. The FHS Booster Club is a proud partner of GEBN.
well said. As just awaiting. Just waiting.
Just a waiting.
Are they, both getting warmed up a little bit, getting ready to go. Severance, like we said, they have a great record, and watching them warm up right now it's kind of showing. They've got some powerful serves. They have a lot of talent on this team.
We've been seeing some of the hits outside the box, and they managed to or against the very rims of the box, and you can tell they they hit it right back with such precision that I don't think Frederick can really match that if our upperclassmen don't step up.
Yeah, the forehand, backhand, the speed that Severance brings it's going to be very interesting. We'll see. The athleticism, who's going to come out and be quicker, who's going to make some plays, and ultimately, give this team the upper hand.
Yep, the upper hand will probably be a tricky advantage to get. As we put it, I think it'll be a relatively close matchup between the two teams. Watching them warm up, they're pretty evenly matched between the two. Serving-wise, I think Severance is more powerful right off the gate.
Yeah, they've got some speed with their
Frederick
serves.
a little bit slower, but they still managed to get it over that net. But Severance hits it with such ease that we shall see how this matchup plays.
It's going to be interesting.
Agreed.
But,
Again, I have full confidence, though, in Frederick.
Sports, it's that crazy thing about sports, anything can happen. And
I was about to say, we'll wipe the
slate.
What am I talking about? We'll wipe the record, a clean slate for Frederick. Rough start, but I'm sure we will be able to prove diligent here in this match.
Yeah, every match is a new opportunity, as some would say, and they're, get ready to go. They're going to do a little racket toss, see who's going to start with the serves, and get rolling.
As we are about underway in this matchup.
Frederick will serve to start.
Cameron starting us off. Serves right over the net, finds the right corner of the box, and looks like they're going to redo that serve.
Yeah, I think they called a little fault there on the serve. They're going to rerun it. Or they might just be getting the serves warmed up. I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
Yeah.
But
Looked like they were ready to start. And initially looks like that was already out, with both of the Severance players immediately calling it right off the bat. Looks like a little bit of a struggle to serve for Frederick early on.
Cameron trying to, pinpoint it. She's trying to get her speed to go. But
she is. I think the speed, though, is throwing off her accuracy.
Once
again, we're underway and way out of the box. Cameron, little too pitchy with her next hit.
Believe it. If the score right, it should, I think, be 40 love right now. If they were counting those two fault serves.
If not, though, we're sort of still stuck at the beginning of this match.
You know, Frederick just trying to get something going. They're trying to get the serves,
Agreed.
but see how Severance can retaliate.
And I mean, you said it beautifully. They have the speed right now, and Frederick, I think, is trying to match their speed with both speed and accuracy, and it's just not paying off the way that they want it to.
Yeah, they got to get it. They're trying to get that serve to stay inside the, you know, the 2 boxes right in front of the net.
Yeah, I mean, they're serving at the moment. Cameron's struggling a little bit to find the right spot to hit.
But she's fine.
Retaliates and way outside.
Yeah, Frederick right now, they seem a little rattled, I think.
They do early on. No pun intended, rattled. Yeah, they're not quite as coordinated, I think, as they wanted to be.
Yeah, I don't know if they're quite. They're gonna move for the first.
I think Severance is just as confused with the placement of the balls too. So as they make a collective decision, and looks like the first
Should go to Severance
yeah.
to start.
So right off the bat, a struggle from Frederick.
Severance will get the first match point of the game.
And now we will flip this court around. We will be right next to your Frederick Golden Eagles, and we hope that with Severance serving, there's a hope yet.
Cameron just whiffs on the shot, on the hit there, but
Yeah, just met with air on that swing, not paying off quite the way she intended.
yeah, she's trying to hope to get some power under it.
You could tell the swing was there, but the hit was not.
Should be 15 love Severance in the second match of the first set.
Severance serving and
Just a bit wide.
almost getting attacked there through the net.
15-15 now. Frederick patient, watching where the ball is going to go.
It's smart gameplay at the moment. I mean, appeared a little rattled in the beginning, but now you could tell it's kind of like a collective sigh. Both of them, I think, have taken a step back from trying to speed up the game and just sort of settling into what they want the game to play out to be, not Severance. Severance, once again serving, able to retaliate right back, keeps it within, and that will just, I think that got over to Severance's side.
It did. It stayed in, and then,
I believe it just barely crossed over the net too, so.
Yeah, Cameron kept that, inside the boundary lines, and then it was a bad spot where Severance could not quite pinpoint it back over the net. Quick serves paid, and I think should be 30-30.
I think Severance at the moment is almost struggling equally with serving.
It's that side of the
Both
court.
teams. Yeah, I think it's just the bad luck of that side of the court. We've seen Severance start off, playing strong with their hitting, but I think that side is just cursed at this point.
Martinez couldn't quite get the ball back over the net. It was a good serve,
Yeah,
and then
just an inkling off, but
could not find the ball and make correct contact with it. Severance trying to get match point right here.
Anastasia just
A little
on the
bit too
perimeter of the
much.
box. Yep.
Yeah, just a little bit
Little
too much.
heat behind that hit. As I think both teams have started off relatively poised, and I don't think it's kind of funny though, the difference between tennis and the vibe behind tennis, and then you look at any other sport and it's almost like golf. It's very lackadaisical, but in a good way.
Yeah, I agree. Tennis is very, depending on how it's going to roll, could be slow pace, fast pace. You can never really know. You can't really tell what's going to happen. I believe it's 15 love. Severance.
As Anastasia serves once again, Severance retaliating right back, and that will just barely manage to scrape over the net.
That'll be another one for Severance.
And that was a super precise smack over the net, able to find just that groove.
She hit that to a spot where, Cameron could not get.
Yeah, there's
Quite
no way
two.
you could have grabbed that.
Anastasia would have had to hustle over there to get there.
Yeah. And that is
Frederick
not
point.
able to get over the net.
I believe 30-15 now. Frederick right now doing decently well
Yeah,
defensive-wise.
they're doing pretty well. We've seen them put up a pretty good fight. And their serves, you can tell, are getting stronger.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting it to the part of the box that they need to get it to.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a groove starting. And I think we jinxed it on that.
We might have that time.
I'm telling you,
We need
it's my bad habit.
We need some wood out here to knock on.
We do. I mean, I got boots. They're close enough.
In a sense, yeah. I
I
mean,
guess. We'll just roll with it. As Frederick once again, Anastasia serving. Serves it over the net. Straight to Severance. And I believe that
She calls it out.
Yep.
Frederick stays alive on Severance match point. As this has been kind of a lot of patience from both sides. Severance, trying to utilize that speed that they have. They just can't quite pinpoint it in the box as they need it to be.
It's certainly there, but I think, ooh.
Little volley going on here.
Yeah.
Anastasia tried to keep it in.
A little too far left, looked like. I think it was good communication, though, between Cameron and Anastasia, as you saw both of them just smack rackets, as looks like
Switch sides. Severance up, I believe 3-0 in the set, or the matches here in set 1. Trying to.
I think Severance just has this calming nature behind them, too, the way that they're playing. It's more so, I think they're very cool and collected.
I think their communication right now is working very
well. Yeah, the two
well.
of them you can tell are
In sync.
relatively, yeah.
They know where the other one is on the court at all times, and it's.
I think that's what's throwing both Anastasia and Cameron off a little bit for Frederick, is I think the communication is not quite to the point of where Severance is at. And I think that's probably what's throwing off their game right now and leading it to be 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, Severance off to a quick start in the first set. Like you said, up 3-0. Cameron playing really well defensively there and keeps.
She just, it's almost like a volleyball approach where you just back yourself right up against the net and
Spike it
you're
back
able
over.
to, yep. Frederick settling into a little bit of a groove as they're able to make Severance work for it, but Severance, impressive feat right there. Not easy to get him pretty much near the racket, but
But I mean, it's getting to the
no way to
point.
hit it.
It's getting to the point where both teams, they're starting to get their feel. They're starting to move around a little bit more than they would
Mhm.
at like the start of the match. And
You can tell, I think they're starting to get legs around this court, and they're
Get
starting to move a
rolling.
lot more than they initially were. As we see Anastasia hustle, but not able to get there in time. I think it might have been out, but
yeah, it looked from this angle. It did indeed look out. There's a little commotion behind us.
as we have a nice chorus of screams coming from the
Track.
track and field.
40-15 the score. Severance just trying to keep it.
And
That was a
looks like Cameron hustled, but wasn't able to hit it with the precision that she needed.
yeah, Cameron right there just could not quite find the right move to get the backhand to keep that ball rolling.
Yeah, she made contact, just wasn't the contact she needed. Just ended up bopping it right right out of the court. So
I mean, the wind is starting to, it might not be the crazy factor right now, but the wind's starting to peer in a little bit.
it is. Yeah, we're starting to see glances of the wind, and there's not much obviously protecting. If y'all have been to the Frederick tennis courts, there is not much around here to protect the wind from entering these courts. So you're pretty much left vulnerable.
Once again, Cameron, she has done well playing defensively, but it's that far hit that she can't
Yeah,
seem quite.
that far left corner is really throwing her, and she's able to get there, but just either not hit it the way she wants to, and that'll hit the net. And they'll have to redo. But just not quite hitting it how she needs to or wants to in that corner. She hustles, but
She just can't quite get there and
Yeah.
make the play on it.
as it would have been relatively impressive if Anastasia hit it the way that she intended, but looks like it looked like it bounced off the top of her racket and just sort of
Took a wrong bounce.
exactly. I guess you could call it a foul ball, a pop up if we're talking a different sport.
In baseball
but
terms there, yeah. It's another fall. I mean, the serving right now from Frederick is just something that if they can get going, it might start appearing to be a way that they can change the factor of this game.
agreed.
But Severance, like we said, that speed is what is getting Frederick right now.
Yeah. I would say that speed individually is the factor that's killing Frederick defensively.
Yeah, Frederick trying to stay alive here. You know, as Severance is starting to gain another lead in this match once again. Frederick, they can't afford to go too far down.
No, they can't.
In the
Because at
first
some
set.
point, you're going to have to hustle more to just come back than even play in the game necessarily.
Yeah, you're going to be chasing the entire game rather than keeping
Rather
up
than
with.
winning, yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, they need some. I think they just really need some energy and get
Agreed.
rolling.
That is a high bounce on that ball. Cameron able to track it down. Keeps it in, which is impressive in itself. High ball, and that will just
That one will
soar
bounce,
right
yeah.
over where it was supposed to.
Yeah, that volley right there. That was a good back and forth battle.
It was. You could tell they're starting to definitely find momentum and rhythm between the two teams. It's almost like hypnotical to watch the two of them just back and forth, especially with Cameron's shots defensively and retaliation. You could tell she was definitely locked in.
Yeah, Severance moves to 5-0 on the matches right now.
So this game might be short-lived. As I think we are going to go to the third member of our party, Isaiah. Isaiah?
Thank you, Ian, Carly. Just some updates on the singles here. Right here we have Haley versus Severance. The score right now is 3-0. And then on the middle court we have Rachel versus Severance. The score right now is 2-1 Severance. And on the far side, the third court, we have Beyonce versus Severance. The score is 4-0 Severance. And
Thank you so much, Isaiah, for that insight into the other matches as we are back here with your Frederick Golden Eagles and Severance. So far, it's been relatively evenly matched. It's just who can finish off the points. And so far, Severance been able to completely abolish anything Frederick has gotten going.
Yeah, right there, Severance. Just that's the one thing that might be the factor that Frederick might need to utilize more is the communication. Severance kind of just miscommunicated there and wasn't quite able to figure out who was going to hit the ball.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be the resounding factor that either Frederick can utilize as Severance's weakness, which as we saw there, I think that was a beautiful example of realizing that, hey, maybe their communication wasn't exactly on point as they wanted it to be, so.
That was a very interesting little play there. I mean, that one just goes right off the top of the net, right? And
Yep, and you can tell, I think the communication piece, as you were putting it, just.
yeah, I mean, the way the ball is, kind of rolling right now, it's all Severance with, the power, the way they're swinging.
Agreed.
Right now, Frederick just needs to, find their rhythm and get going. The faulty serves might start it, and that could be the biggest factor because, Severance can get their speed rolling. Frederick will be.
Their speed, I think, is the dangerous opponent that Frederick didn't take into consideration early on in the match, and now I think they are. As Frederick is going for sort of a high tip-off approach with their balls, and I think Severance is trying to match it.
Yeah, I mean, it is dangerous, though, if you go for that kind of factor because the other team could, ultimately come down and spike it and then create a very challenging factor for you defensively.
Agreed. As JHL Constructors, with a legacy of over 36 years, JHL Constructors is a fully integrated Colorado-based and Colorado-focused construction firm. From infrastructure to vertical building, our success is built on long-lasting relationships with our clients, design teams, subcontractors, and our Colorado community. To us, building Colorado's future means more than improving the built environment. It is our genuine commitment to give back to our communities, do the right thing always, and collaborate on impactful projects, like building top-tier educational facilities for the next generation. That's why we are a proud supporting partner of Frederick High School, home of the Golden Eagles.
Once again, Frederick back to kind of struggling to get the ball back over the net.
We saw initially that they struggled a little bit as well, and I think they got to a rhythm, and then it just sort of
Faded out.
Yep, pretty much, as it is 5-0.
Match.
Definitely, yeah, match points. They've definitely silenced Frederick this match, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they're keeping up in this match right here where they're, still somehow scoring points. But, I mean, it's getting down to the wire where, it's getting to the 40, 30s where it's coming down to the match points, and you got little slip-ups and just need something.
As looks like we're going to be flipping once again with this court.
So I think Severance, I think they took away first set. Yeah, they win the first set.
And Frederick completely silenced on that set. Good thing is Frederick all smiles, not trying to let it phase them for the remaining sets.
Yeah, I mean, all they really got to do is get one of the matches, and then something like that, and then you can just flip the tempo.
Agreed.
And just start rolling.
It just takes one set, and then this game could completely flip on its head. So, nothing to count out for Frederick, that's for sure. As Severance, though, an impressive feat during that first set, as we saw them, as I put it, completely silence Frederick. And I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. I mean, they were really cohesive and in sync. And I think if they continue that up, there's not going to be much of a fight put up if Frederick can't finish the rounds off. And I think that's really what they struggled with, is they were able to keep up with Severance. And I mean, Severance's record only shows so much. And I think Frederick, with them being able to keep up with Severance, they just have to work on finishing everything off and really integrating that communication back within their play. So.
Yeah, I mean, Frederick, they didn't really seem, like you said, like Severance is very in sync. Frederick, kind of opposite of that.
Agreed. We saw them sort of piece together what communication they needed for like a few hits, and then it just sort of fell apart at that point. And I think if they can get back in this using that communication aspect, I think we could have a very close game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to come down to, what team kind of wants it more. And right now we can see Severance, they're kind of dominating right now. They want it. They want to win.
Yeah, they're working for it.
And,
not to say that Frederick isn't, but.
Yeah, I mean, Frederick, they're still making plays. They're doing things that they need to do, but, Severance kind of has that edge.
Agreed.
And right now Severance trying to protect their undefeated record right now.
No, you're good. You said it better. As Frederick, looks like Anastasia's going to be serving once again. Anastasia pops it back up, slims it over the net, and looks like that
stays out.
Yep.
I mean, Severance, like we said, that speed, the backhand there, almost had the arc that it would have been perfect if it would have just sat right on the line, but it just fell a little too far and created some chances. Back-to-back faulty serves there for Anastasia, giving Severance still kind
a little bit of traction, yeah.
Severance just trying to keep their wheels going.
And finds the net. A little bit of a struggle from Severance here. We haven't seen much of that, but I think
that was pretty cool. I won't lie, the way she flipped the ball up, got it and crossed, that was pretty sweet.
That was relatively impressive. I cannot do that, so.
Yeah, if I try to play tennis, I'm hitting the ball over the fence every time.
Well,
Kind of a mix.
you know, at least you have the powerhouse element, I guess. You're like, hey, I can hit it over. Doesn't count for anything, but
Trying to swing for the fences. You know, a little bit of
Hit it.
baseball aspect there. That
home
one will,
run.
yeah, that one will stay out as Severance. I think they're finally down in the set here. Kind of hard to tell.
First time we've seen that, as Anastasia completely swats at the ball, but her racket does not find it.
Yeah, the contact factor there did not quite stick.
And her out the way she wanted it to, yep. Saw a little bit of a struggle, but Anastasia back to serving.
You know, the serves in this
I have to say, Cameron's retaliations are beautiful right against that net. She really makes Severance work for it. No, a little too far.
Yeah, just
As I said, I jinxed it.
yeah, just one that, you know, just a little bit too much on it. But like you said, her retaliations are almost, if not perfect, to where she can get it going. But it seems as Frederick has kind of found their rhythm on the serves. You know, one of
I
the
think we're starting to see that communication piece a lot more.
as one of the Frederick coaches is, you know, popped by, might, you know, be that deciding factor, help him out a little bit.
Agreed. With a coach watching, you always feel like
The pressure.
the pressure. You feel the tedious amount of stress because you want to perform well. Not that you didn't beforehand, but
You want to do better, you know. Your coach is watching you.
Agreed.
You gotta
looks like
Show out.
Severance though.
just take the first match of this second set. You know, trying to get a clean sweep to start to pretty much end this set. But all Frederick's got to do is just get one.
I mean, we saw that was probably Frederick's best
Match.
match. I think that was probably their best match that we've seen so far in this game. So, as you put it, it's never too late to start a rhythm, but you don't want to fall too far behind to the point where your rhythm is just keeping up with them, but not necessarily scoring, which I think is what we've been seeing. And now we've got the coach over outside of the court, waiting patiently.
You know, it's even though they're down by, you know, kind of a lot, the smiles are still rolling.
Exactly. You got to keep that element. And I mean,
She kept that ball, and that was
it is
impressive.
interesting to see you can tell they're playing a lot better with the coach out here.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear the coach, you know, kind of just giving her team some little amped up.
Little morality booster, as we saw them struggle early on, but
Finding their
they
legs a
are,
little
yep.
bit.
The legs have been found.
Because that one's that's one of those hard hits where you're trying to go.
It's one of those where you're on the run, and with the motion you have to somehow
Try to
find
get-
the energy to swat back with enough force to get over the net, and so
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Cameron's beautiful, sort of quick swings, quick swats at this ball, I guess you could say.
She is.
really finding her footing on this court.
Yeah, I mean,
she is making it work for it.
Yeah, she's taking a few extra steps there, you know, not trying to get under herself and try to smoke it. She's kind of controlling where the ball needs to go, and that's pretty much what she needs to do right now. That's what Frederick needs to do to try to come away with this match.
I think she's trying to find the competitive edge as
Like we
beautiful.
were just talking about it. Anastasia on the run, trying to make the play, and she does this time, and then
Yeah, we saw her last time struggle a little bit with it because it was sort of like a behind the back
kind of hit.
Yeah,
I mean,
with the racket, and that's not easy to do, and I definitely could not do that, so. But I mean, we've seen both of them, I think, be more agile.
ooh,
As that
a little too much
was.
on it. A little bit too much on it that time.
As that soared way over what it was supposed to. But at least now you know she's got the arm for the racket. So,
I mean, she's almost there. She just needs just a little bit more, and she might
agreed.
have it.
She has, yeah, she has the arm to like hit these pop-ups, which I think with the sun, that element. I mean, we're blind
Yeah.
over here and we're watching it, so they're more than likely blind and they're playing it. So
Yeah, it's the sun is not very fun.
no, the blind hits, I'm sure, make this match that much more intriguing.
You know, it would have been interesting to see this game in a little solar eclipse.
I know.
Because you
even
can't
though
quite
we would've
look
been
up.
Blind. Like, we literally would have been blind.
Trying to look up,
Behind
yeah.
it, yeah.
Yeah, because those little solar eclipse glasses, you can't see much unless you look up and actually look at the sun.
I saw it from the inside the other day. It's pretty cool. Was it worth the hype? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a total eclipse here in Colorado, but
No, we got it. We got a glimpse of it.
yeah, we'll get one in I think 2020 or 2044 or something.
So
We looked this
whenever
up
we're
yesterday.
old.
Yeah, about 20ish years from now.
Graying hairs start to appear. Something like that.
Around that time,
Severance
right?
battalions, yep.
Severance kind of back to the formation, just control.
That's the main objective of the game so far that we've seen from Severance.
And the
This Cameron.
tempo is kind of flipped back to where Severance can try to do what they do best. Is Cameron
Cameron, beautiful hustle to the ball.
just not enough
We've
on
seen
it.
quite a bit of that though from her. Although sometimes it doesn't pay off, she's definitely hustling.
Yeah, she's trying to do what their team needs her to do, but she can't quite just get the ball where it needs to be pinpointed.
Agreed. There are moments where, you know, you can see these glimpses of where she could probably swat it way over, like exactly where she wants it to be, but it's easier said than done when on the run.
Yeah, I mean, the fatigue's starting to kind of set in a little bit too. That could be a key for Frederick if they can utilize Severance kind of fatigued motions and not quite being able to hit the ball where they need it to be pinpointed. It's Cameron.
Cameron, a little disappointed in her serve there.
Yeah, I mean, Severance right now is just kind of in a partial domination mode. And, you know, Frederick just needs to... They can get their legs, find their way to, you know, finish the point. They can finally get something rolling.
Exactly. If they can finish the point, then I think success-wise, then the victory is not so cloudy. I think right now it's pretty unclear as to if they didn't get the point, it's basically, you know, that's probably not a great morale booster. It's probably the opposite.
Yep.
And so far we've seen Severance now with 3
About
matches under their
10
belts.
unanswered matches where
Yep.
Frederick just...
3 this set.
Yeah, 7 last set. And Frederick just cannot quite find the rhythm.
Yeah, the footing is not quite there. I think they've had moments, these glimpses of where they have the teamwork that they need in order to beat Severance.
It's just not quite there. But I mean, it's kind of just... It's one of those sports where it's pretty entertaining to just be on the court playing the game.
Agreed. It's also great to be just directly next to the players and just sort of see the mindsets that they're in. You can tell. I mean, with Frederick, you mentioned how they're still all smiles, even though they're down 10 matches to nothing. I mean,
Yeah, it's just something that they're just trying not to let drag them down.
yep.
And,
Which
you know,
is a smart tactic. I mean, something that, you know, you always hear in sports is, you know, never give up until, like, the clock runs dry. And
yeah,
thank goodness there's no clock in this game. But point-wise, you just got to keep playing until the very last point. And I think Frederick is putting their best foot forward if they keep that mentality of just keep going and keep hustling like they have been until the end. And hopefully it'll pay off sooner than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think Severance is finally starting to realize, you know, Frederick's starting to get a little bit more fatigued, a little bit more gassed. So they're making Frederick, you know, pay for not being able to serve the ball back over.
As we saw Severance with a beautiful clean swipe serve-wise, and Anastasia just not able to get it quite over the net where she needs it to. And we've seen quite a bit of that, honestly, from both teams, I would say. I think both teams have struggled. If that's something that they want to work on, I think both teams have to work on serving, because it's not an easy thing to obviously serve. I think in any sport, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely a deciding factor.
It is. Sometimes that can make or break your game.
Yeah, and right now it's kind of breaking Frederick, and it's kind of breaking Severance a little bit, but you know, mostly the point wise, Severance is doing really good on the retaliations and their second serve chances.
Agreed. As we mentioned,
That one was coming for us.
I know.
Well,
I see how it is. They didn't. they
didn't like that.
They didn't like it.
I think they heard us there.
Yeah, I was like, we can't get up as much as I wish we could.
Yeah, we could hit the ball pretty good if you need us to.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll pop in.
Pop and say hello. Yeah, Frederick right now just needing, kind of anything. They're kind of surviving. They're getting points, which is what you
anything
need.
to give them traction.
But Severance ultimately doing really well at closing out and finishing, just doing everything that they need to do to win this set, and hopefully try to come away with the overall victory.
As that one just bumps right up against the net.
Yes, I'm not quite sure what Isaiah said on that hit down there, but
Yeah, me neither, but I'm sure it was pretty good knowledge. I mean, we obviously don't get a great view of the other courts. Really? So.
yeah, can't quite tell, but I mean, looking down the courts, kind of Severance has been kind of.
They've been dominating relatively, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, there is maybe one or two courts that have Frederick up.
Yeah, it looks like looking at the top of the ball post, you can see it's very, I think, back and forth mixed with who won the past set.
Yeah, I think it's these first two courts right here. It's Severance, and then the last two looks like one might be Frederick, the other one might be Severance.
Maybe. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So Severance, I think, domination-wise, they've done a very good job, I think, relatively with all courts.
Yeah. I mean, like we
and
see.
I mean, the record.
Yeah.
Although I said clean slate, there are certain things that, factor into those records. So don't want to necessarily negate it altogether.
Yeah, especially being undefeated. That will, show. That will show like how much you want to keep it if you are fighting to keep your undefeated streak, and that's what Severance is doing really well right now at doing, is defending that undefeated streak.
As now we're gonna flip once again. And as I gave Ian a yawn.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah, a little school day and then right out to the courts.
In the blistering heat.
It's not so bad right now. The wind's kind of blowing in our favor. At least for me, it's not horrible.
Severance, they have now won 5 in this set. And they, I'm sure, are just on top of the world right now, as this is pretty much, you've completely silenced Frederick at this point.
I mean, there's still
lots of game to go.
But you can't allow them to win one more set and then get them, or match and let them get that close to winning the set and ultimately closing it out. You just gotta hope that you find something to expose that Severance defensive attack, because they've done really well at turning defense into offense, which is what you see in most sports. And tennis is one of those sports where it's going so fast that your defense needs to turn into offense on basically when that ball hits the side of your court. You need to be there and make a play on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen professional matches with tennis. I'm not an avid tennis watcher, but I've seen quite a few tennis matches, and I would say tennis super duper chill to broadcast. So we will be, I believe we're doing another tennis.
I don't think so.
We're not?
I'm not quite sure, but I don't believe so, because we were supposed to have a singles and then weren't able to do that one.
Yep, unfortunately. If this is our one and only tennis match, though, it was
Gonna be something to build on.
Agreed.
For next season. Hopefully bring boys tennis in the fall. If not,
so there's more to come, that's for sure. Maybe not this season, but for sure next season, as we will try and pump out as many tennis matches as we can.
yeah. But right now, Severance, just trying to close the game out. But it's just pure domination.
Yeah, it's been brutal, I think, this match. Not to say Frederick didn't have their moments of glory. I think there were plenty of moments where they matched beautifully with Severance's efforts, but I think ultimately just not being able to finish anything off has made them struggle.
Yeah, I mean, it's just coming down to the communication once again, where it's just Severance seems like so in sync.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they're on the same brainwave, kind of
Yeah, you can
hive
tell.
mind.
Hive mind.
That's the
See
word I was
that?
looking for.
I can see that. It's a collective brain.
As I think that will conclude
That
it.
will conclude
Severance.
the match. And I mean, the sportsmanship though is amazing, as we always see in all of these broadcasts, and just able to shake hands afterwards, talk.
You know, enjoy
Great
the game.
sportsmanship,
Enjoy the
yeah.
space. Enjoy the sport that you love to play.
I believe that is the only match we are going to be doing today.
Yeah, Severance comes away with the 14-0 match sweep.
As I think Isaiah might be
We
getting
might.
one more hit.
I believe so.
Maybe.
Not quite sure. We're kind of just rolling here. Yeah, Severance, but like we said, Severance just kind of full domination. As I think we are going to try to get one last hit in.
I mean, honestly, if you're either team, I think you should be proud of the efforts, as we are going to be getting a hit with Isaiah.
Hopefully here in a minute, once he's
Once he's
set and ready.
We have a perfect view of him prepping, so he's stress prepping. As looks like we're going to go down to Isaiah. Isaiah?
Thank you, Ian and Carly. Down here, reporting on the singles matchup. Court one, we have Haley going against Severance. The score right now is they're one game down, and then they're still in the first set. Court two, we have court two we have court two we have Haley versus Severance. I mean, not back to you.
Thank you so much for that hit, Isaiah. Today's broadcast of FHS Girls Tennis has been brought to you by a talented crew of students here on GEBN, the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network. I've been Carly Evans, alongside here with me Ian McKendry. Our director is Wyatt Morrison. Our camera operators are Chloe Gould and Lily Silva. Our production assistant is Mason Shafronic and Ethan DeLear. Mr. Marsing is GBN's advisor. Be sure to be right back here on GBN this next week as the spring season heats. For everyone here at FHS, I'm Carly Evans, and you've been watching the Golden Eagle Broadcast Network.